What's going on? Welcome to the live stream. I'm Rob. Hit subscribe. There's so much news. I don't know if you've seen the Zelensky, uh, what would you call it? The Zelensky episode of The Real Housewives of Pennsylvania Avenue, where two grown men begged for a man to say thank you. But there's a lot going on. Most of it's not that great, but there is some good news. If you're looking to sell your Tesla, if you're looking to trade in your Tesla, Polestar, what's up, Jacob? Good to see you. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit that little thumbs up. If you do have a Tesla and you want to trade that in, I think this is one of the genius times of marketing. The electric car company Polestar is offering, I think, $20,000. I forget. They're offering a lot of money if you're willing to trade in your Tesla right now, which is hilarious. There goes the free market. Really not so much the free market as it is hilarious pouncing on somebody's loss of, can you even call it goodwill? I think just Elon revealing his true character, and Polestar is pouncing. I don't know much about the electric car company Polestar. I think Rivians are cool, and I think Rivian should do the same. I think every electric car company right now should be pouncing on it. Be like, yo, you want to trade in your Tesla? We'll give you a great offer. We have the same hair, like the exact same pretty much. Oh, cool. Do you keep it as well as I keep mine? Do you tend to it? All right, so the news is just horrible. This group called 18F, which was formed like 11 years ago by the government, they were the ones in charge of like updating all the computer and all this computer science stuff within the government. They were all fired. And they left an interesting message on a website, and I linked that down below in case you're wanting to keep up with all these people that are getting laid off. It's really horrific. I mean, all the layoffs, all these people that once had a job at the whim of some billionaire are now out of work. That's got to be pumping up the economy. This has got to help the price of eggs go down, right? I think. I don't know. How do eggs work? You just got to fire a lot of people, then eggs go down? Anyways, the other interesting thing, so if you want to read about this group 18F, they shared a post on Blue Sky saying, hey, we're not gone for good. They detailed in the link I provided down below. It's just 18f.org or something. But they detailed the work they were doing, how they were working to save people money, to save the taxpayers money. They were doing it behind the scenes. They, weren't doing it for accolades or recognition. They weren't doing it to get on stage and wield a chainsaw. They were just doing it because, they were good at it and they believed in the system they were providing us. Oh, it's just horrifying. So yeah, read about that. The other thing that you'll see all over the news is all these Republican town halls, which is just, it's brain rot at this point. Mohsen Bagiri. Bella, bella, bella. Namaste. Hi, nope. Smart guy 1231. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. What does that mean? I don't know what any of that means. But, sometimes you just got to acknowledge the comments. Thanks for stopping by. I like the name Smart Guy. That's a masshole name. Smart Guy. No, it'd be a masshole name if you put an H instead of a R. Smart Guy. But so I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news or the clips being shared everywhere of all these viral clips of like Republican town halls gone wild. It's so funny. We got Zelensky in the White House doing an episode with the two Real Housewives of Pennsylvania Avenue. And then we got all these Republican town halls where I guess they're these Republicans that are supposed to represent the people, supposed to be in public service of the people, they have a job because people voted for them, are now being advised to like stop holding town halls, which that's like peak capitalism right there. Not democracy. We don't live in a democracy. I'm from Iran. Do you know about Iran? No, I don't, but I would like to know more. The little bit I do know. Is that a dry country? Guy in a dress. What? Anyways, we invaded your country. My bad for that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, the relationship is salty, but let me just say this. I got Iranian friends. I got some Egyptian friends. I love the people. People fascinate me. Um, but on a country level, listen, I apologize for everything the U.S. has done. God damn. And you know what? We're actually going to go into it. I want to read a little bit of the Shock Doctrine. But first, real quick, I just want to talk about these Republican town halls that I keep seeing clips of. And I'm like, it is shocking to me that you see all these old people, right? Well, not old people, but these boomers and older gen folks. Bry Ace Tiller. I'm from New York and I love your vibes. What's up? Trinidad and Tobago. I want to go there. My apologies. I got sidetracked. Trying to keep up with the comments, but I'm just going to kind of go off for a second. Please hit subscribe and the notification bell if you're new, and that little thumbs up. I do a live stream. We talk news, commentary. Today I want to read from this book because it's going to sound eerily familiar, even though it's a book about history. And it's going to break down capitalism and the root of capitalism and why this shit needs to go. But you see all these boomers and older folks at these town halls getting upset. And I'm like, these fucking morons voted for Trump. Most of them voted for Trump. And I'm just shocked that I'm like, you voted for the guy, the grifter, the proven liar. Like, there's no doubt. He ran grifts. He's a con man. He's a scam artist. He drove casinos into the ground. He has no company still existing from the 90s that he had a plane company, a water company, a state company, a casino. He had hotels. I think some of his hotels. He's got Mar-a-Lago now. But anyways, my point being is everything that this dude does is a grift. It's just to enrich himself. Even when he had the Secret Service staying at places, he was forcing them to stay at his own hotels and charge them exorbitant amounts to enrich himself off taxpayer-funded money. So it's shocking to me that these old Republicans are trying to go to town halls going, we hate what you're doing. It's like, you voted for this. It's so dumb. I mean, I welcome people. If you're upset right now, good. Come to this live stream. Let's talk about it. I'll share for all your doubloons. We're going to scam you, smart guy. The guy on screen, I'm a smart guy. Get out of here. But it's shocking that people voted for Trump and he's doing everything in his power to keep him and his billionaire buddies richer than ever. And people are like upset. Like, you're upset that he's giving himself tax breaks and he's gutting everything that old people, poor people, working class people need. It's like, that's his MO. That's what he does. So, I mean, keep showing up to town halls and stuff, but you're showing off your stupidity as well. Being like, we didn't vote for this. We voted for the price of eggs to go lower. It's like, he don't know what the price of eggs are, folks. If you think Donald Trump could tell you what the price of eggs are, you might be an idiot. I feel like Jeff Foxworthy. I am a squeaky wheel. You say a lot without fact. You say Trump doesn't have any businesses still up and running. Oh, really? Where's his water company? Squeaky wheel. I said maybe his hotels. What business is he running right now? Tell me. Is it his steak business? Is it his casino? Is it his airline? You know he had an airline. So my point is, like, he's running a meme coin and he's selling Bibles. And they're grifts. They're grifts. He's selling a fucking Bible made in China to promote America first. Like, if you can't see that that's a hardcore grift, he's not even putting Americans to work. So tell me, what business besides a meme coin, which is not a business, by the way, okay, that's a grift. Like, tell me what he's still doing. Tell me what he did for the past 4 years while there was another president, okay? You know what he did? He toured around on campaign. That's all he did. So squeaky wheel for real. Like, hey, what's up, fellas? Good to see you. You got to admit, Trump is famous for building skyscrapers. He builds his own buildings, buddy. And do you know anything about that? He stiffed a lot of contractors. He doesn't pay people, and he's like proud of that. So again, his business isn't skyscrapers. Not every city is fucking filled with Donald Trump construction skyscrapers. He doesn't even do construction. He contracts out the work. Anyways, oh my Jesus. Oh my Jesus. Anyways, we're going to get into this book, okay? Because there's a lot of news. I'm just shocked that there's all these people going to town halls being like, we didn't vote for the scam artist to gut America. It's like, what did you think he was going to do? He hasn't kept his word on almost anything. This guy. I mean, he just makes stuff up constantly. It's okay. I can build stuff. That means nothing. Again, building stuff or contracting construction companies isn't a business. Like, having companies build stuff for you. And how many hotels does he have right now? Anyways, that's the one thing I said that you named to me. Who's saying that again? Squeaky wheel. Squeaky wheel. The one caveat I made was that he still has hotels and you can't name any other business. I could even name that he's hawking Bibles and selling meme coins. Which, again, is not a business. Okay, I want to read, this is an amazing book, The Shock Doctrine, but I just want to break this down for you. This is going to be talking about the Shock Doctrine. We're going to be starting at chapter 2, the other Dr. Shock, Milton Friedman, and the search for laissez-faire laboratory. But the reason I want to read some of this, and Milton Friedman is like a god to Trump and all the old uber capitalists. But I want to read some of this to you because as I was reading this, I have like 5 books going right now. But as I was reading this one, I went, this sounds eerily familiar. I have to go, Rob. I'm going to leave you to deal with these troglodytes. All right, Jacob. Respect, Jacob. So the Chicago School of Economics is where Milton Friedman was preparing like a mad chemist in a lab, these uber capitalists to look to colonize a new market that has never been tapered with before. And I'm going to read different excerpts for you, but once we get to the point, it's going to be eerily familiar to what's going on now. So, like all fundamentalist faith, the Chicago School of Economics is, for its true believers, a closed loop. The starting premise is that the free market is a perfect scientific system, one in which individuals, acting on their own self-interested desires, create the maximum benefits for all. That sounds a little suspect. Your own self-interested desires will create the maximum benefits for all. We've been doing this for like 30, 40 years now, like hardcore, like deregulation since Reagan, and it's not benefiting for all. But just, this is the description. It follows ineluctably that if something is wrong within a free market economy, high inflation and soaring unemployment, it has to be because the market is not truly free. Just so you understand where they're coming from. So then it says, where the United States was already a capitalist country, it was not but as far as they were concerned, just barely. Talking about the Chicago School of Economics and the Milton Friedman line of thought. To make products more affordable, politicians fixed prices. To make workers less exploited, they set minimum wages. To make sure everyone had access to education, they kept it in the hands of the state. These measures often seemed to help people, but Milton Friedman, and his colleagues were convinced, and they proved with their models, proved in quotes, that they were actually doing untold harm to the equilibrium of the market and the ability of its various signals to communicate with each other. These were believers not in utopia, but in a mixed economy. The Chicago eyes an ugly hodgepodge of capitalism for the manufacture and distribution of consumer goods, socialism in education, state ownership for essentials like water services, and all kinds of laws designed to temper the extremes of capitalism. I'm going to skip over some of they go into like the New Deal in the 30s and 50s, a time of unabashed fare, not laissez-faire. The New Deal gave way to the war effort with public programs launched to create much needed jobs, new social programs unveiled to prevent growing numbers of people turning hard left. And now I want to get to, because they talk about Argentina. In the 50s, Argentina had the largest middle class on the continent. Next door, Uruguay had a literacy rate of 95% and offered free health care for all citizens. So there's some more history of post-World War II. Official era YouTube. Hey, Squeaky Will, I will help you out. If you want people to get angry with Trump, point out the immunity he wants for law enforcement to have and pardon he did for the cop found guilty. How about he pardoned everyone in Jan 6, and every day there's like a news story about a pardoned Jan 6er doing something heinous. Hold on, I gotta get to... So if I don't read the comments, I'm not trying to ignore you. I want to try to keep in line with, we're reading from the Shock Doctrine by Naomi Klein. Oh, I lost my place. Okay. The economy was growing fast. Enormous wealth was being created, but owners and shareholders were forced to redistribute a great deal of that wealth through corporate taxes and workers' salaries. Everyone was doing well, but with a return to the pre-New Deal rules, a few people could have been doing better. Those few people are Trump and his cohorts. First, so now we're going to talk about, this is the agenda of the neoconservative movement. This is what Milton Friedman in his book Capitalism and Freedom laid out. This is their plan, and I want you to listen closely because it might sound eerily familiar to what's happening right now. First, governments must remove all rules and regulations standing in the way of the accumulation of profits. Let me read that again. First, governments must remove all rules and regulations standing in the way of the accumulation of profits. I'm going to let you read in between the lines there and guess where those profits are going. They ain't going back to the workers. Second, they should sell off any assets they own that corporations could be running at a profit. What does that sound like? They should sell off any assets that they own that corporations could be running at a profit. It sounds like the talk about selling off the national parks to start a World Monetary Fund or whatever kind of sham they're calling it. To sell off our public lands. This is Milton Friedman's, from his playbook, from Capitalism and Freedom, laid out by Milton Friedman. And this is the economic agenda of the neoconservative movement. They should be selling off any assets that they own, the government, that corporations could be running at a profit. And third, they should dramatically cut back funding of social programs. Within this three-part formula of deregulation, privatization, and cutbacks, Friedman had plenty of specifics. Taxes, when they must exist, should be low, and rich and poor should be taxed at the same flat rate. Yeah, because that's fair. The guy making $1 million should be taxed at the same rate as the guy making $10. Corporations should be free to sell their products anywhere in the world, and government should make no effort to protect local industries or local ownership. So all the people that like to bark about, what about your local shops? Well, the Uber, the Milton Friedman capitalists, do not care. And that is laid out in his own book. All prices, including the price of labor, should be determined by the market. Oh, they love saying that one. Because they are the market. They price fix. Just like they've price fixed gas, the price of eggs, they price fix labor. All prices, including the price of labor, should be determined by the market. There should be no minimum wage. Why? Because they want to pay less than that. For privatization, Friedman offered up health care. For privatization, meaning to sell to corporations, Friedman offered up health care, the post office, education, retirement pensions, even national parks. In short, and quite unabashedly, he was calling for the breaking of the New Deal, that uneasy truce between the state corporations and labor that had prevented popular revolt after the Great Depression. As far as Friedman was concerned, all this shared wealth should be transferred into private hands on principle. Though always cloaked in the language of math and science, Friedman's vision coincided precisely with the interests of large multinationals. In the first stage of capitalist expansion, that kind of ravenous growth was provided by colonialism, by discovering new territories from the earth without compensating local populations. It continues on, but I really wanted to focus on those 3 points, the 3 points of the neoconservative movement. Get rules and regulations out of here, sell off all the public lands to the private sector so they can profit from it. And again, that makes no sense because public lands are meant for the public to use. Selling them to corporations means only people that can afford to go there can go there. It's like, instead of everything being a national park, it's all Disney World, and you got to try to afford to go. Um, and then, of course, there's so many more things about privatization. It was just eerie reading that, a book from like 20 years ago, and they're talking about, privatizing healthcare, retirement, the post office, national parks. I'm like, that's the playbook. That's what they're doing. This is eerie. Sounds exactly like what's happening. Phyllis Long. I'm telling you, Phyllis, when I was reading this, because I got a few books going right now, and I've been trying to, chip away at this one a little by little, because I have like, I think 3 books out, 3 or 4 books I'm working on. Or it might be 5. Again, I get lost in all my books. You can tell I got a little bit of ADD. But when I sat down and said I'm going to put a few hours into this one, it was freakish reading the Milton Friedman, Capitalists and Freedom, neoconservative economic movement, and how it is a playbook for what's happening right now. Yeah, and listen, I bought that book off eBay. I do not buy my books from Amazon, so I highly recommend going to a vintage bookstore, going to eBay, to a small seller, to someone who has 1 copy and it's in good condition. That's what I always try to look for. Support the local economy. Don't buy from Jeff Bezos, please. But it is a freakish book, and the book overall actually talks about how, like, when the wildfires happen or earthquakes or stuff, these capitalists wait for that moment. Like when Maui burned, there are venture capitalists waiting to buy that land for pennies on the dollar and hike up the price and gentrify, or whatever they're going to do, build. It's what Trump's talking about with Gaza, like it's a destroyed, war-torn area. Who would want it? And they come in and buy it for pennies and then build it up, and they turn it into a capitalist utopia, which means it sucks for everybody that's not a billionaire. And that's the Shock Doctrine book synopsis, and I'm giving it a bad synopsis. Again, I haven't read it fully, but from what I've gathered so far, and it is so scary to read, because you go, this has been happening for decades, and if people don't know about it, they can't be aware that, like, this is not new. This is the playbook. They're going by a book. So I highly recommend. I'm both informed and pissed. Well, see, that's the problem, Phyllis. As soon as you get informed, you can't help but be pissed. It's a tragedy every single day you watch what's going on. And that's why I was pointing out these Republican town halls where these older folks are going and being like, we voted for Trump and this isn't what we want. It's like, again, you voted for a fascist. You voted for a dude who does not care about the rule of law, who calls himself a king. You think he wants to hear from the plebes? Trump called himself the king. He said the president is above the law. That has never in our history of our country been the rule or the exception, that the president gets to be above the law. That's the whole reason we had America, so we didn't have a king. And the guy who's saying, I'm the king, I'm above the law, you think he gives a shit about town halls and what people are upset about? He don't care. And it's funny that this is the second time around that people are getting burnt. Well, it's not funny. It's actually tragic. And I hope those people wake up, and I hope those people say, we need something better. We need universal health care like other countries. We need education. That's what we need. So I really wanted to read that to you. I'm sorry if I didn't get to some of the comments. I am Squeaky Wheel. Go look up Trump Steaks, Trump Water, Trump Planes, the Trump Mahal, or whatever he called it. Go look up all that if you think he's a good businessman. Go look at the guy who killed a casino, who bankrupted a casino. But it's okay. Sometimes people are tied to their ego to worshiping someone. And sometimes it's just out of hate and spite for their neighbors. But here on this live stream where we talk about live news commentary, I can't support anybody that would want to take health care from women and children, from older folks, that can't say everywhere in the world they have universal health care. Everywhere in the world that is a nation like America, we can figure it out. We should be doing that. We shouldn't have these for-profit systems. The pay right now is causing this extreme inequality. Capitalism ran its course. We've been trying it for 50 years, or a century, and we've ended up here. Elon Musk, I can't even get into him. So I just pray people start to wake up, and they see through it, because we can fix this. Coming together, we can fix this. And that's why I highly encourage you to join this community. Hit subscribe, hit the little thumbs up. And tomorrow we'll do some more. I'm gonna do some more reading, but I just felt that was important to share that playbook, the three-pronged attack that the neoconservative capitalist movement is doing. Because the more you know, the more prepared you can be, and you can share it with other people. And this is, historical fact. You can look up Milton Friedman, look up the people that worship him, and then be very careful of them. All right, that's all from me today. Phil, it's good to see you. I am Squeaky Wheel. Thanks for stopping by. Official Error YouTube, Smart Guy, Jacob, of course. And if I'm forgetting anybody, my apologies. Have a great rest of the day. Hit subscribe and then hit the notification bell so you can join me tomorrow. God bless. Peace.